Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Super, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Tallinn, where the spring has finally arrived. Thank you so much for pushing my limits, for making me work on my best version of myself, and of course, dream bigger. My name is Ruul, and today I'm going to share my learnings, my passion, my vision about innovation based on sustainable greed. So, what is innovation? It has around 30 plus different definitions. Everyone can choose their favorite. For me, it is using new skills, knowledge, technology in order to create economic value. But there is a slight problem with that. Already in 2012, the Club of Rome stated that the economy, as we know it, is a fantasy, a fiction. Why? Because none of the metrics we use in order to measure the well-being of our economy, the well-being of Homo sapiens, consider the well-being of our planet. Last year, Earth Overshoot Day landed on the 28th of July. This means in 7 months, we used up all the natural resources planet Earth can regenerate in 12 months. Furthermore, according to United Nations, at least one species will go extinct during my speech. So why? Why is it that throughout the history we have never considered how the planet is feeling? The answer is actually quite simple. Because one of the main characteristics of human being, called greed, has not changed throughout the history. We still want more than we need. We still want more than we can afford. I cannot stop Homo sapiens from being greedy. It would probably be easier to walk on water. But I can tell you how to be greedy sustainably from the point of view of environment and economy. So first, environment. The thing is, in few years' time, companies who don't innovate sustainably will be outcompeted by the ones who do. Clients are already choosing their partners and suppliers based upon ESG reports and carbon emission rates. The trend is obvious. Laws are being passed by governments. Voice of the planet Earth is loud and clear. And millennials, who will make up 75% of workforce by 2025, are voting with their feet. In order to get a buy-in from the stakeholders, we need to prove that by investing into environmentally sustainable solutions today, we will maximize our long-term profit. So let me prove it for you. An Estonian company called Timbeko Woodhouse, one of the top wooden modular house producers in the Nordics, is a great example about the combination of environmental and economical sustainability. Their voluntary ESG reporting, measuring and reducing carbon footprint, strong, sincere communication about caring, landed them contracts in Norway, in Iceland, in Switzerland, sped up their core business. The company's culture included environment. And this became Timbeko's value proposition in their international sales. Some more proof? According to McKinsey, Europe's grocery retail industry alone can benefit up to 50% more profit. Profit, not revenue, profit, just by following sustainability strategies. aiming to achieve productivity by reducing harm caused to environment. 76% of consumers now buy or boycott brands based on values. By the way, talking about groceries, if food waste was a country, it would be on the third place in greenhouse gas emission after China and USA. Up to 50% of food produced globally is never eaten. Simply by measuring and reducing our carbon footprint, by auditing our raw material origin, by sorting and reducing waste in our offices, warehouses, production premises, by reducing our flight mileages, burning biofuel instead of dinosaurs, using LED lamps, solar power, having meatless Mondays in our workplace cafes, can make us more reliable partners in the eyes of our current and new clients, and of course, while attracting talent. 87% of the workforce is now valuing moral leadership more than ever. And moral leadership is the base for creating innovation culture that values environment. There are 4 classical components in innovation culture: technology, processes, people, data. Technology, processes, people, data. Master these and you'll master innovation. Add environment to the formula and you'll outcompete your competitors in 5 years' time just by being greedy sustainably. Our second topic, economy. How to be profitable while being environmentally sustainable. My practice has taught me that there is a lot of waste in companies' processes, and this includes innovation process. While developing a product without solid evidence, clear roadmap, we are most likely to end up wasting resources on a solution the market does not need. CB Insight states that 58% of startup founders say that they wish they had collected solid evidence, more data before the launch. In order to knowingly design innovation processes, manage innovation, we need to understand the importance of two-phased data-based validation. First, we need to understand if the problem is real. Is it big enough? Is it painful enough? Is it worth solving? The world does not need any nice to have plastic products anymore or infinite number of apps. Secondly, we need to validate if the solution we would like to provide with our resources is the one the problem owner really needs. How to validate and optimize resources at the same time? Enter innovation experiments. There are over 20 different types of experiments we can design in order to prove our hypothesis right or wrong. An innovation experiment called validation interviews. I've seen many interviews done by asking feedback to the idea. Everybody loves ideas. We need to ask feedback to the problem. Do you have this problem? How often do you have this problem? When did you last have this problem? What did you do in order to solve this problem last time? What would you miss if you didn't have that solution? Swedish company called IKEA is using open innovation and startup as a service as innovation experiments. Last year, they were specifically looking for marine materials, startups working on marine materials, seagrass, bacteria, byproducts from the fish industry that can be used in IKEA's next products. A Finnish company called Neste has now changed the aviation industry by developing an 100% sustainable fuel. using co-creation as an innovation experiment. Finding out that our hypothesis or initial plan was incorrect is also a great result. It saved us from wasting resources on a project with no perspective. Only after having solid evidence for the problem, for the solution, we have the moral right to invest resources, as resources are always scarce. Include environment to your culture. Make your innovation processes sustainable with experiments. It is said that responsibility only arises when we have a choice. Responsibility only arises when we have a choice. Homo sapiens find themselves in a unique position to make choices in. We have now chosen a situation where we are responsible for every single still living species on the planet. Pairing has become a matter of life or death. Destroying our mutual home is not an option anymore. Being sustainably greedy requires strong leadership skills for the culture, strong innovation management skills for the experiments, and the choice to be change. Thank you. Thank you.
Aita! Thank you so much, Ruul. Thank you so very much for that. A very insightful, inspiring presentation. One thing that you said, since we don't have a question from our jury members, resonates with me, is a company that we know well, not very far away from our studio, is the Neste headquarters. We worked with them also on what you mentioned briefly in your presentation, being co-creation in innovation. So how do you create a system of co-creation for mutual greed? So how do you instigate, in a way, mutual greed that turns into co-creation for better innovation?
It's about knowledge. It's about knowledge. If I have the facts that yes, this is worth doing, it's worth including environment in our culture, then we are motivated, we are bought in, we have the buy-in. It's a really good question, because if we don't have a mandate, if we don't understand the values, the purpose, the meaning, then there's no point. But I hope that experiments, the knowledge, the including environment into the culture works both ways to have sustainable greed both ways mutually.
I really like your concept of mutual greed for a better planet. Thank you ever so much, Anu, for sharing this with us.
And thank you again. Amazing day.
Same. Thank you so much. All right, dear contestants, in this